man, this experience really showed me like, yeah, there's a lot of bad shit that's going on in the world and there's a lot of assholes, but you know what? There's a lot of just genuinely kind, remarkable human beings and they show up for each other. And I feel like my people showed up for me, and that was a neat thing to be able to experience, like as a giver to receive from other people. And I think about that all the time, and it makes me feel so just lucky.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 78 of the On the Runs podcast. Erika's doing her little happy head bobbing dance right now, and we are coming to you virtual from our home bedroom studios. Erika, what's up?
I am doing just fine, my man. How are you? Did you have a good weekend?
My weekend was fine. It was full. It was busy. I went to a 40th birthday party.
Who turned 40?
I went to a 40. Oh my God, we're old. I went to a
That's
40th birthday party. Wow. Jeff Thomas, his girlfriend Taylor, turned 40. He had a big party at his house. They have this huge backyard. It's great. They had a pig that they were cooking.
Ooh.
They had he put a boat in the backyard, and the boat was like your table where you could go get your snacks and your drinks and everything. Like, this guy has a ton of junk, old snowmobiles, old boats. Like, he put wheels on the back of this boat and just like took it with the tractor and pulled it up. They had a band.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, a ton of kids. It was a blast. The boys and Adeline loved it. Adeline took her friend. Double sleepover weekend. She slept over her friend's house and the friend slept over here. They had a cheerleading competition. They won again. Adeline won a pretty big award.
Did she? What'd she win?
Out of all the cheerleaders in the cheer competition, she won the best performer.
No way.
Congratulations,
Adeline. That's fantastic.
I didn't even know they did that. But like, they judge you individually too, and she's up front and center, big smile, always very
she's got the charisma. Oh yeah, she does.
Yeah, she's going to be a star. Her hockey equipment showed up, and we went ice skating and tested out the new skates. Like, I don't know, I'm just like picking a little bit here on the weekend. My weekend was crazy busy, and then to boot, I'm kind of sick right now. I got a stomach bug, and unfortunately, I won't say I skipped my run. I'm just going to do it tomorrow because Coach gave me a run for today. I couldn't go out. I couldn't trust it. I have been just a liquid diet out of my cornhole for the last 24 hours. It has been brutal. Ashley got wings yesterday. She ordered Domino's, but didn't get me a pizza. I'm like, you didn't get me a pizza? Why didn't you get me a pizza? Like, I didn't know what you wanted on it. Same two things I get on every pizza. Yeah, not cheese. She got me hot wings, like chicken wings with hot sauce, which I don't mind a kick every once in a while. But ever since I had those hot wings, I have been just dispensing a liquid diet out of my cornhole.
Quite literally blowing it out your ass.
Yes.
That's such a visual, dude.
I had hockey last night, and that's when I started feeling it. And listening to so
sorry to laugh. This is not fun, but oh man.
I got home last night. Okay, guys, we're going here. I got home last night, and I dropped my phone in the passenger seat where your feet go. So as I reached over to grab it, a little came out, and I was like, no! I went and jumped in the shower.
You're gonna be proud of me, though. I have some stories for you, but I feel like we should save my story for the outro. It's along those same lines. You're gonna love it.
You have an ultra, it seems, every weekend now. You're turning into John Calabrese and his girlfriend Janice. Not Janice. Yeah, Janice.
Denise.
Denise. Yeah. I'm thinking my mom's Janice, my aunt's Denise. I knew it was one of them. It was in the family. You're turning into them where every episode's going to become like a recap. Maybe you give me a recap and we throw it in the Patreon only page, or maybe we do that next year.
We can do whatever you want.
How long is this recap
literally-
going to be? You had a 90-minute recap last week.
This is nothing like that. This is going to be 15 minutes tops.
I loved it. You spared no details. I absolutely loved it. Like, I'm not shitting on your recap. Like, I'm shitting on my ass right now. I loved it. Next week, we'll talk more about Coach and my running plan because that has been fun. It has been fun.
I'm so proud
really
of you, dude. At least today you're listening to your body and you you knew that you needed to take a rest day. So I think Coach will let it slide maybe this one time.
I didn't my legs are fine. It's just, I'm just gonna I don't have baby wipes. The baby wipes came and play huge. You know, this is a fun topic. This morning
still laughing
at work,
about your car thing.
This morning at work, we're talking about dude wipes because one of the guys who just left the office always carried around dude wipes with him.
Mm-hmm.
And they thought it was funny. Like he carries them around proudly and he has scented dude wipes like watermelon or maybe pomegranate. Like, where do you come up? Why are there scented dude wipes? Like,
if you could see my face right now, I'm like, ooh, scented. But then you say like watermelon. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I don't know what scent would be.
I'm like,
good.
is that for her when that happens? I don't know. Anyways, I'm like,
so
I could
weird.
really use some dude wipes right now. And then we go to their Instagram, like their marketing is awesome. They have this fun, I don't think it's real, but they have this flavor of the month right now. It's called Dumpkin Spice.
Oh my God. Excuse me. That is amazing. A round of applause for Dude Wipes. Whew.
Yeah. Dude Wipes is awesome. Shout out to Dude Wipes. You want to sponsor the pod? We are on the run.
We would love it. We would. Pumpkin spice. I love it. I love it.
But yeah, what an intro so far. Well, how are you? How have you been?
I am good. I'm recovering a little. I did my let's call it the second run I've done since Yeti, and I picked a 30 miler. So go me. But everything went fine. There were some things that it was a learning experience as always, but we'll get into that a little bit later. And my legs worked, so I was pretty proud of myself.
How long do you think your recap will be? Realistically, how long?
15 minutes.
Okay, 15 minutes. It is going to be a Patreon-only recap.
Okay.
And we'll drop it on next week's pod. So if you don't want to jump on Patreon and hear it, you don't have to, but we will throw it in next week. But this week, I'm going to drop it on our Patreon page for our 9 Patreons, 9 or 10 or 11. I forget now.
Oh, where's my list? I wrote it down.
Let's shout them out now. We have 2 new Patreons, and I want to give a shout out to the first one. This 10. Is long due because you're saying 10. We have 10. 2 new ones. First one up on deck. We've talked about her already, but this is really our first intro since Before Your Yeti together, where we legit can focus on this. Angela Pohl.
Yay!
Thank you for jumping on our Patreon.
Thank you, Angela. She's been awesome. She's been throwing us guests and everything. Like, she's just amazing.
Today's guest is brought to you by Angela Pohl. And guys, it is all right. All right, so if you've been on this podcast before, I love you. 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 But our guest today, in my book, top five guest. It's that
she was an instant friend. I'm like, I have to know you. You are amazing. Everything about you is awesome.
And it's all because of our new patron, Angela. Wow.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Angela, thanks so much for jumping on. Friend of the pod fam forever. We're gonna talk to you again. As you'll learn, you are doing some things soon in the future with our guest. We'll get to that soon. But we have another new Patreon too, and Erika.
Can I shout her out?
Shout her out. You met her. You talked about her last week on the recap.
I'm so excited. We got to give a shout out to Charlotte. She's my new Yeti friend. Charlotte, you are just the most wonderful person ever. And we can't thank you enough. So if you want to follow her, she's got the best Instagram page, like one of the best I've ever seen. She's Marathon Costume
She was
Chick.
Dolly Parton, right?
And she went as Dolly Parton.
Yeah, Dolly Parton.
She just did another ultra like this. She does more ultras than me. She's another John Calabrese, but she just had the number 261 and she went as Catherine Switzer. So if you don't know about Catherine Switzer, you got to look her up. She's like historic and she's just absolutely amazing. But she pulled out the whole Boston Marathon, like look that she had during the race. She was like the first woman to run Boston, and oh my God, it was absolutely amazing. And I just, so many shout outs to Charlotte because she's just so sweet and kind, and thank you for listening and for helping us out. We love it. So glad we can shout you out, and we love you.
Huge thank you to both you, Angela and Charlotte, and everyone else on our Patreon, because that money helps pay for the platforms we use to get this podcast out to you, and it's a huge help. So I'm super excited. And with that said, I think we should get to our guest. And
Yes.
we have so much to talk about, but we're just like, I'm so excited to get to her interview. Like I said, Angela Pohl brought us this amazing guest, and we have on the pod today for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Shari Todd.
We really hope you love her as much as we instantly did. We had a connection right upon meeting each other. So she's just so awesome. She's got an incredible story, and you got to hear it from her.
So let's do it. Let's jump in right now, Shari Todd, and then we'll come back with the outro. We'll talk a little more. We have some news. There's some events we would like you to support. There are some races we've signed up for. We're super excited to see some people coming to the New Hampshire area soon. We want to shout out everyone who ran the Chicago Marathon, because we didn't get to do that during your recap week. We're just so excited. So much to catch up on. But let's get to the interview with the one and only Shari Todd. Our next guest on the pod is an outdoor enthusiast who's done some pretty epic shit in her life. Besides from going on these amazing adventures, she's a mother, a runner, a power lifter, and she's battled multiple cancers multiple times. She just ran in the St. George Marathon, and she's here to tell us all of her stories. Shari Todd, welcome to the On the Runs podcast.
Why, thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
That was quite the intro, Shari. So we are very much looking forward to getting to know you better. But the one thing I do know is that we were connected to you from Angela Pohl. So I'd like to know a little bit how you guys know each other.
Okay, so the online Instagram breast cancer community is super awesome. It's a really great way to get and give encouragement and information and just sort of feel less alone in the world. And so that's the community in which I met Angela. We connected because we're both runners, and we both wanted to continue to do hard things and challenge ourselves after going through chemo and cancer treatment. And she just is somebody that's very transparent about her process. She shares her data, which I'm a total data nerd. And so she often shares her data in her posts, which was really a draw for me. And she spent, probably a half an hour with me messaging back and forth, helping me figure out sort of a plan when I felt stuck. And she's honestly just an encouraging, wonderful human.
That's awesome. We love Angela over here. So I'm so happy that she's everybody else loves her as well.
I knew she would be great when we were coming up to Breast Cancer Awareness Month that we're doing in October here. I reached out to her months ago, and she recommended you, and we talked like back in July or August about this and planned this for October. So the Instagram community seems pretty amazing. Like social media, take it for what it is. Sometimes great, sometimes bad. I would say more positive. You just hear about the bullshit of social media. But you're friends with not only Angela, but Jay. You're also friends with Jackie. And like you couldn't do this. I just learned you live in California. You couldn't do this before. You would just have your little California community, like in whatever town you live in, Orange County, or I don't know where you live. But you have this now every day right on the palm of your hand.
Yeah, it's definitely, I feel like if utilized correctly, it makes the world a bit smaller in a really good way. And I think, community is just such a vital part of our health. And it's something that's changed over the years. I mean, even in the time, my kids are 10 years apart. And even in the time that they grew up, it's like my older son, we all like came out and sat on our lawn chairs and watched them ride bikes in the street. And it's not like that anymore. Everybody has sports, parents are working more, you come home, and that element of community is missing. And it's such a vital part of our mental health, and I think our physical health too. So I feel really grateful for social media because I feel like it's made the world small, and it makes you feel less alone in the experiences you go through, even what you guys do. I mean, so many things you listen to and you laugh because they're relatable and funny, and you're like, oh, I'm
Mhm.
not the only one who does dumb shit when I run, or what, whatever the
Yeah.
thing is. So I think it's awesome. It's really great.
Well, that makes me happy to be a part of it. Yeah.
Oh, totally. You guys are a part of it. It's awesome.
You mentioned your son. I don't know how many kids you have, but I did go snooping through your Instagram as I like to do, and I noticed you had your son was a preemie, and I had preemies as well. I didn't have them myself. That would be amazing, right? Science, what?
Mhm.
We had preemies 20, not 20. You're 28 weeks. Ours were 34. We had twins, and that was early, but I think yours were 28 weeks.
Yeah, my eldest son, who's gosh, he'll be 29 in December. He was a 28 weeker, so that was a long time ago too. So he was on the cusp of like they're like maybe not. He was 3'9". He was tiny, really, really tiny. I'm sure twins, though, even if they're further along gestational age, they're going to be smaller because of the nature of twins, right?
Yes, they were. One was 3'7", the other was 4'1". So my twins
Yeah.
were very different in size because we had something
Yeah.
called twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome, and that's like when one twin's getting all the nutrients and the other one's getting almost nothing. And so
I totally had a marriage like that, so I completely understand. I
well,
would say just kidding, but I'm not. But
let
anyway.
me add that to my notes. Let's get into her marriage history too. I'm just kidding. You can talk about whatever you want. We're all ears.
I feel like her running history might be a little more interesting than the marriage history. So should we go there instead? Is that a better starting point? Yeah.
Why
That
don't we
sounds
start?
great.
Why don't we start from the beginning? Who is Shari and where is she from? As like I said, I just learned you're on the West Coast. I would have planned this 3 hours later if I thought you were in California.
No, it's totally fine. So I live in Southern California. I grew up in Huntington Beach with my family. I have one sister and a mom and dad, and I grew up definitely playing sports. I did run track, but more shorter distances. I'm hopeless with coordination. I tried to do hurdles. It was very disastrous. But I also played
Video proof, or it never happened.
Oh my, no. Thank God I'm old enough that there is no video proof. Thank you for that. Played softball and just really loved being outside a lot. I got married really young. I had my first kid young. And so I just kind of threw myself into being a mom and really enjoyed that. And so my kids are, I think I had my second son when I was 29, and I started running just because I wanted to lose the baby weight. And one day I hooked up with this local running club, and I mean, I had been running like maybe 3 miles at the most. Well, they were running this 8-mile really hilly course, and they all like were super professional. They had like water bottles and like, I mean, I was like
Mhm.
way newbie. And so I did it. I couldn't walk for like 10 days after, but I thought, holy crap, I did that. Like maybe I could do more. And so I signed up with a local running club called the Lopers here in town and trained for the LA Marathon. And the rest is history. I fell in love with challenging myself and facing down. I don't know that I lived for many years with a lot of very critical, self-critical voices inside. And I feel like endurance sports really helped me to face those down and kind of be victorious over them. And so I fell in love with endurance sports.
Was that the only thing that you do is endurance sports, or do you do anything else? Like he was saying, you're like an kind of extreme person. So like, what other hobbies do you have too?
Powerlifter.
Powerlifting. Yes, that was it.
But
Well, that's pretty extreme to me.
So like I did marathons, and then I thought, oh, like maybe I'll do triathlons. So I did an Olympic.
I like you already. I like you a lot. I already liked you
Well,
before.
because I was like, okay, I can do marathons, so let me try something else. So then I did.
Erica's pussy is in the camera right there.
I feel like, what's happening, Erika? Are you unwrapping a burger, and can we have some?
Here he comes. There he is. Oh Jesus! Knocking shit over. You were right. That is a cat asshole right in your face. Okay, get out of here.
That's Scooter, right?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, that was
Get
a
out of here.
butthole.
Yeah.
I saw some things. I've seen some things, and I can't recover from that. Sorry. I've seen
Time out.
parts.
I'm gonna kick him out. He was sleeping, and then I was like, I don't know. Of course, he wakes up. Hold on. Come on, buddy, get out.
Shari, I was telling you, like, it's a podcast. We can edit things out. Things like that don't get edited out. That was awesome. And that will be all
right,
over
back
social
to
media later, too.
Back to your regularly scheduled interview. Here we go.
Okay.
Triathlon, I think,
So-
was what you mentioned.
Yeah, I think so. I did marathons, and then I was like, okay, I can do marathons. Let me try triathlons. So I worked up to doing an full Ironman,
Yes.
and then I thought, well, maybe I'll see if I can run further. So I ended up running some 50Ks, and then I ran a 50 mile, and then I was like thinking about doing a 100 mile, but the training is like, I had young kids then, like when I did ultras and my Ironman, and it's like, let's be honest, I think that we try to take the sacrifices onto ourselves. So then you're burning the candle at both ends, you're super tired all the time and whatnot. So I thought, well, maybe I'll try to get faster. So I decided I wanted to try to BQ. Now, my Boston qualifying time was 3:40. And I think at that time you had to get 5 minutes under. So 3:35. And my PR at that time was 4:20. So I was like, maybe it's doable. So I just worked really hard for I think I did 7 months of training, and I BQ'd at Tucson.
Wow.
Ended up running Boston in the year. It got bombed and was in the finishers area when the bombs blew up.
Whoa, I'm adding that to the notes.
That was not, the race was so awesome, but it felt so shitty afterwards because there's this really special, no matter what marathon you run, right? Like if it's a destination marathon, you look around and you see people with the shirt or the medal, and you feel this sense of community and this awesome sense of accomplishment. But after that, so many people didn't get to finish that when you were in the airport, you almost felt bad wearing your jacket or your medal because so many people didn't get to finish. And I had barely gotten to finish. And so it's just, that was definitely a mixed bag for sure. Yeah.
Was that your only time running Boston? Or is this a spoiler alert?
Man, I felt like qualifying was probably, I think that was even harder than doing an Ironman because you know how some days you have those runs where everything comes together, and some days you're at mile 15 and you're like, oh fuck, this is just settle in because this is going to be a shit show. And that run was just me versus me for 10 miles or 11 miles. And it was so hard. I'm like, I don't know if I can go into that pain cave again. I'm not sure.
Speed is tough, man. That is this year with all of my training, I was just going for distance and I just threw speed out the window. And let me just tell you, I've enjoyed running so much more that I'm not worried about how fast I'm going. So I know the focus it takes to do that kind of shit. I have so much respect for everybody who can do that. That's amazing.
And do it for long term, over and over, because I feel like it's just so mentally hard. Getting your body to do what you want it to do is it just takes a lot of mental energy for sure. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. It definitely does. After that, I was like, okay, I'm going to try something different. So I did CrossFit, and then out of CrossFit, I was like, oh, I'm getting strong. I like this. So I did some powerlifting. I competed in a couple powerlifting competitions, but I missed running. So I still lift. I have a full garage gym. I lift very consistently, but I'm back to running. I don't know if I'll do triathlon again. It's just so much training. It's like a part-time job.
It is.
Right.
It really is. It's not a part-time job. It's a full-time job.
Right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, especially if you do long course. It's
right.
It is. It's a job. It's
you need to have a very understanding boss. And that boss typically has to be you.
Yeah. Very true. That's a very good point.
I want to kind of rewind a tiny bit. You were doing 3 miles, and then you ran into a running group that was doing 8, and then you just went marathon. There was no 5K, no 10K, nothing. You just went 3 to marathon.
No. So the running group that I joined, they had incremental races as part of the training. So
okay.
I think.
Oh, smart.
I think it was built in local races, which was, I love local races. I love me a local race where you see little kiddos and people out in front of their houses. And it's especially when it's around your hometown, it's delightful. So they worked in some of those. So I think I had did, a 5K, 10K, and half as part of my training plan with Lopers, which it's a really structured running group. And they walk a minute every mile, and they have cheer, they have warm-ups and everything. And it was a really nice community, different pace groups and such, and just really very welcoming and encouraging.
And I don't know. I don't recall if you said it, but what was the first marathon you did?
LA Marathon in 2008.
Ellie Marathon. Okay, how'd that go?
My only goal was to break 5 hours, and I got 5:01.
Okay.
So close.
And I was running with this awesome gal. At the time, we were kind of running partners, and so at the very end, she's like, "Okay, we want to beat 5 hours. We got to speed up, like the last mile." And so I was like, "Okay," and she's just like, "We got to speed up," and I'm like, "Okay," and she's like, "Shari, we got to speed up," and I'm like,
My
"If I'm
body.
not speeding up, then I can't speed up. This is as fast as I can go." And I vowed never to run a marathon again, and we all know how that turns out.
Yes. Oh man. I was the same way. You never know what happens. Like you said, any
Yep.
day, you need the perfect day. Things happen, shit happens, but you still do some epic shit.
I do. Yeah, I like it. I like challenging myself, and I like doing things that I'm not sure that I can do, because it just gives me this, I mean, you guys know, but it gives you this feeling of like, well, shit, what else could I do? And that feeling of like wonder and hope is, I think endurance sports honestly taught me a lot that I used in dealing with cancer, because a lot of endurance sports is just really about problem solving and believing you can do the very next thing. I mean, right? Like if you're in a stage race or an ultra or even a really long bike ride, it's about not fixating on the problem, but focusing on the solution and just keep taking steps and finding solutions. And so much of what I learned, like in my soul and in my body, really transferred well to fighting cancer. And I think that it's really a metaphor for life. And that's why I love endurance sports. I don't think that love affair will ever be over.
That was beautifully put, Shari. I've never heard it really like broken down that way, but that is exactly what it is. It's problem solving on the go, trying not to defeat yourself. Like you just said it wonderfully.
Thank you. Yeah, it just, you know, I remember this one ultra I was running, and sometimes the races that are in the trails, the aid stations are like perhaps 7 miles apart. It's a good chunk of time to where
Yes.
you can really get into your head if you allow yourself. So you start thinking like, oh, like it's so hot, I'm so tired. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be like 3 episodes of Friends until like I get to the next aid station,
Yeah.
like, or whatever your measurement of time is. And I
Yes.
remember this one race thinking, stop. Identify the problem, and then start thinking about the steps you're going to take when you get to the next aid station. You know what? I'm going to take 3 drinks of red Gatorade, and I'm going to get a potato, and I'm going to dip it in salt. And I started thinking, okay, what order am I going to do that in? And once I started thinking about that, it helped so much. And I totally remember when I was doing chemo, getting overwhelmed and thinking, oh my word, I have to do this for 5 months. This is so terrible. How am I going to go on? And I'm like, but right now, all you have to do is eat 3 bites of mashed potatoes, and you can do that. And then after that, you're going to figure out the next thing. And it's beautiful to me how a sport like endurance sports transfers over to life so well. And even through other hard things like divorce or changing jobs, it really translates well. And I feel like we're kind of lucky to be in that sport. You know what I mean?
Man, I wish I talked to you like before I did my big race, because this is exactly like the shit that I went through in my head. Like it was just such a tough mental game, and like I wish I had a better mechanism to break it down and help me get from aid station to aid station and whatnot. But
It's
it's
so
still a wonderful
hard.
lesson to learn. I appreciate it, every minute of it.
Yeah. Trust me, it's been learned over years of like fucking up and then finding better solutions.
Fuck around and find out. The best.
Yes.
It's all learning. It's all learning.
It is.
And we'll get to your cancer story soon, because you've mentioned it a few times, but let's hear about a couple of those fuck around, find out times. You've done, it sounds like, multiple ultras, and you've mentioned food.
Mm-hmm.
So how many ultras have you done, and what kind of food have you tested, and has it gone well or not? Like, what's your go-to in these long endurance races?
100%. I don't know how many ultras I've done. I mean, it's not like 30 or something. It's probably like maybe 8 or 9 or something. I was mostly like, I was with a group of people that were super rad and like fun, and they'd be like, hey, let's do this. And like, it's like some stupid shit like, oh, you have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you have to like, climb over barbed wire and then do a water crossing. And I'm like, fuck, that sounds so awesome. Oh, and you're going to camp and there's mosquitoes. Really? Count me in. That's going to be great. And like, I don't need it. And you're not even going to get a medal. Like, you're going to get this piece of wood that they paint something on. Oh, that sounds awesome. I'm down, you know?
That's my cup of tea. Well, maybe
oh
not the
my God.
mosquito part, but hey.
The mosquitoes have been so bad this year. So I think for me, my go-to always, like on trail races, is potatoes and Coke. I love Coke. Love it. Like when I did my Ironman.
The white fluffy Coke or the drinking kind of Coke?
Oh, not drugs. No, I don't do the drugs. No, only the drinking Coke. You know what? I'm not wild and crazy. Like, I'm actually like totally a rule follower. And so like any like little deviation of the rules, my husband is like not a rule follower. So I was like, we're not supposed to be like, this isn't the rules. Like, yeah. So anyway,
Eric just totally offended you.
Yeah. No.
I wanted the listeners to understand. I knew what she meant. I didn't want any listeners to get confused.
Coca-Cola.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like,
I can second that.
Have you guys ever had this? Like, I use chocolate goo, and you know how chocolate goo is like thicker than like vanilla goo? Like it has like more of a frosting consistency. So I get off the bike on my Ironman.
Interesting.
And I go for the run. I start my run and I put a chocolate goo in my mouth and I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay, there goes my nutrition plan for my run. I drank Coke and I think I ate pretzels like the whole time.
Yeah, pretzels.
But I'm definitely like a salty food, like potato, like at trail races, they have the potatoes and like a salt that you can dip it in, boiled potatoes. And that and Coke is my go-to for sure.
So potatoes I've never heard of the potatoes before, but it makes sense. I love potato chips and Coke.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's the rippled potato chips. I like the rippled ones.
Ooh. I think because those have more salt. That's probably why you like them more.
After a long run, I like to stop at the gas station and grab a big bag of potato chips and a Coke.
See, I'm not usually a potato chip person, but on the way home from St. George, we took our trailer, and so we drove home yesterday from Utah, and I was like my legs are still so broken, like it's just a joke. But I got salt and vinegar potato chips and a Coke, and let me tell you, it was satisfying. It was very satisfying.
That sounds amazing. I mean, I eat that shit anyways, but for races, that's definitely like a go-to. That and I do the pickle juice. Like I will just shoot pickle juice.
Like what pickles are marinating in?
Oh yeah. Yep. They usually have that at aid stations, and I'm like, yes,
that is such a smart idea.
Usually, so my go-to, I have like this
right
like drink mix, and it's really sweet. So sometimes you just get overloaded with the sweetness, like you can't eat anything else sweet. And that pickle juice just resets you, and you're like good to go. So like you could do pickle juice, and then I've done like Coke right after, and I was like, I'm ready to go. Like,
dude, that is so smart. That's like Element, but like way more palatable.
Mm-hmm. That little vinegar, I'm telling you, it's game changing.
Yeah. I feel like stuff. I learned something new that I'm going to take with me today.
Just try it maybe a little bit first. Like, just don't go shooting like a whole cup of it.
I think
just a little bit and be like, all right.
No, chug the whole thing and let us know what happens.
You know what? I think we should like promote it on this podcast. Like, hey, have you done the pickle juice challenge? Because some dumb TikTok people will be like, hell yeah, pickle juice challenge. And we could start something. I'm just
yes.
I'm all over that. I'll be the guinea pig.
Yes. Oh, this is going to be great. We'll have our own like pickle juice shot jars with the On the Runs logo on it one day. You're a partner in this though.
100%. I'm down, and I will pitch it to people. I can make them believe.
Yes.
I believe you. I already do.
We'll have the East Coast covered in the West Coast now. I love this.
I got you.
Yes. Well, a big reason, let's get into it. A big reason we have you on is, our friend Angela, who is amazing, recommended we talk to you, and I already know why. This is great. You don't even need a cancer story. You're an amazing person already, and I love talking to you. But you have this amazing cancer story, and I don't want to like blow it like cancer is great. No, cancer sucks. Fuck cancer, right? But you've had cancer twice, like not just the same cancer, two different cancers, and they kind of, I think, happened at the same time, or they crossed over each other's timelines. Start from the beginning, or like even before the beginning. Like what was going on in Shari's life at this time when cancer decided to rudely jump in?
So rude. So I found a mass on self-exam. Check your breasts every month, ladies. Feel it on the first. So I found it on Self-Exam in 2015, and they were watching it, kind of seeing if it was going to grow. It did start to grow, so they biopsied it in 2016 and determined that it was benign. And it kind of stayed stable for a while, and then it began to grow really exponentially around the time of COVID. And so it grew and grew, and I couldn't, for a year, it was really hard to get seen or get imaging because everything was it was just hard because there were so many restrictions, and they were trying to, keep it only to like emergencies and such.
Mm-hmm.
And then nobody wanted to remove it because it had appeared benign, but it was big. Like you could see it through my clothing. It was a large. And so I finally got the authorization to remove it, and everybody thought it was benign. And then I got the call that it was cancer. So that was in January of last year.
Why?
And so
why don't they want to remove it when it's benign, but you can see it, and it's kind of like maybe a self, maybe what's the word I'm looking for, Erika? Self what?
Well, they thought it was cosmetic. They were like, "Oh, it's cosmetic," and I'm like, dude, like it's not like it was uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
So
let me
they
say
were
that.
They're like, "Does it hurt?" And I'm like, yeah, it totally hurts. And they're like, "Oh, okay, we can remove it." It's like, okay, whatever. You know what? Whatever box
Wink,
you got
wink,
checked, buddy. Yeah, wink,
Mm-hmm.
wink, exactly. So, I was just shocked because I have invested pretty much my entire adult life in my health. Like I am like really dialed in with my nutrition, with my stress management, all the things that you would think of that a person would need to be healthy. I feel like I do those things. So it was really, and I have no family history at all. So it was like really shocking and scary. So I had, they do like 5 million tests, and there's literally no part of your body that's unscathed. I mean, they look everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was training at that time to run LA Marathon last year in March. And it was kind of going to be like my first marathon back to running again after, lifting weights for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up scheduling me. They wanted to do a second surgery. They call it a partial mastectomy, where they just go take more out, more tissue out. And they wanted to schedule it 5 days before LA Marathon. And I got this awesome surgeon who was a runner. He was an older gentleman, and he had done, I think he said he did the first LA Marathon, although I don't know when the first LA Marathon, I didn't fact check that. So I don't know if that's true. That's what he told me. So I asked him if I could just walk it after the surgery, because he was like, "Oh, you can't run a marathon 5 days after surgery." Well, they ended up bumping my surgery. So I ran LA Marathon and then had a partial mastectomy and my nodes removed 2 days later last year. So then I had 5 months of chemo from April to September. And then I did radiation from September to November. And in November, I had a colonoscopy and I had colon cancer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it was just a really hard year, I think, because one of the things that I think I've always taken for granted in my life is that my body will do what I expect it to do, because I put this work in and this comes out. Like I've always trained for races really hard. I've put the work in, and generally I get the result that I'm hoping for, or at least some iteration close to that, And I felt like my body had really betrayed me with cancer. I just didn't understand it. And I think a big part of coming out of treatment and really engaging again with life, was realizing that my body is different now, and chemo just really fucks you up. Like there's no nice way to put that. Like you're poisoning your body for 5 months. I mean, I still have toenails that aren't growing in correctly from chemo. And so I think I had to reckon with that and realize that I could continue to do the things I loved, but if I wanted to have unreasonable expectations, I wasn't going to enjoy them anymore. And that was like a really big hit on my mental health, because I felt embarrassed. Like, oh, I'm not, like, everybody's like, "Oh, can you run with us?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can't run with you anymore. Like, I don't run a 9-minute pace, if you want to run walk with me, because my heart rate gets too high." And, gosh, that was hard. I would imagine it's similar to if you have like a catastrophic injury or something like that, where you have to totally rebuild, or if you have a lung injury or something. I'm sure you guys know of people or have talked to people that have had that, but
just this, October month alone last year and this year, everyone seemed to have the same, a very similar experience where they were here before cancer, and then they were hereafter, but they're building, but they have to do everything differently because so much has changed. And the heart rate was one that others have mentioned before. So where were you before? Where were you before 2020 and COVID, before you were first diagnosed?
I would say I was in the best shape of my life. I mean, I was coming out of powerlifting and getting back into running a bit, but I was really strong. I was really muscular. I felt really pleased with where I was at aesthetically, which I know we're not supposed to talk about that, but come on. I would look in the mirror and be like, all right, damn. Okay. And as somebody that takes care of myself, that felt really good. My hair was way cuter than it is now. Can we just say chemo curls, not where it's at? I mean, I'm very happy.
I think they're adorable.
Oh, it came back so curly. I don't.
Is that a thing? Because yours is curly, Jay's is curly, our friend Jackie's is curly, and it looks like from before they had straight hair. So is like chemo curls a thing?
That's totally a thing. Like crazy curls from chemo. I don't know the science of it. I don't know if anybody does. And often it'll grow back a different color.
I'm going to Google this.
So weird, right? It's like that poison just being like, oh, and then we're going to curl your hair too.
Give you something else to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, seriously. I think looking back, I didn't appreciate how much of what I wanted to obtain I was actually living day in, day out. And now I look back and think, gosh, I was always hungry for more. And I never really took the time to say, not that I've arrived at where I wanted to be, because are any of us really going to feel like that? But I don't think I really appreciated how much my body did for me so consistently.
Mm-hmm. So Google.com says, this is a cool website, Google.com. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Do you like your chemo curls first?
Whatever. You know what?
Okay.
I'm all about accepting where I'm at right now. So yes.
They're not permanent. Google says they will go away.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Does Google say when the fuck they will go away? Can you ask Google that?
Yes, it does. It says, well, now this might not be good for you because I don't know how long it's been since you had chemo, but within 6 to 12 months, usually your chemo curls will go away.
It's been 1 year.
All right.
You know what though? Google.
Yeah.
Cite your sources, man. Where did Google get it?
Something it gets reversed once the chemotherapy stops. More than half of your straight hair will undergo chemotherapy. That undergoes chemotherapy find that their hair becomes wavy. Oh, I'm just reading things.
Wait, is your hair under your head? No, it grows from the follicle, right? Wait. It's not like when you have the dolls and you pull it out. It's not in your head.
No.
Yeah.
It must alter the follicle somehow. And I don't know the difference between like a straight hair follicle versus a curly haired follicle, but maybe it does something to that.
Whatever.
That's not my scientific expertise.
Did you get chemo brain? We talked about that with Jay. She had like chemo brain. She didn't want to believe it. And then she's like, yeah, it's real.
You know, I worked full time when I was doing chemo, and I feel like I was definitely really tired, and I definitely experienced, I would get overwhelmed and sort of information overload a bit easier, I think. So yeah, I think I wasn't as sharp, and my recall on things that were when your parents are like, okay, let's say you have 3 kids named Joe, Bob, and Alan. They're like, Alan, Joe, or Bob, whatever. Kind of like that.
I do it with my twins all the time.
Yes, and especially when you're mad, you're trying to say their name. But
Tommy, no Tyler.
Exactly. So
I feel bad for Tommy because I always say Tommy first. It just sounds better. Tommy and Tyler. But when Tyler's doing something, I'll be like, Tommy, no. Oh, Tyler. Sorry, Tommy.
No, just you do what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know. I think the biggest bummer for me was, my energy was definitely really low. I don't know if you can tell, I'm a pretty high energy person.
No way.
But I like to be doing stuff and planning things on the weekends. And I was pretty low energy, and my heart rate just would get so high. I would be carrying a laundry basket up the stairs, and I'd be breathing. I'm like, oh my gosh, is this how people that are way out of shape feel all the time? Because this would be horrible. And another thing, I don't know if the other girls talked about this. You lose your nose hair. Now, Nose hair is important for things such as catching snot. So like I would go hiking and like snot would just fall out of my nose, like, or a booger. And I'm like, what on earth? So nose hair, very important, underrated, not appreciated. Just saying.
They failed to mention that, so that is some insider information.
Hey,
Yep.
I'm just here to bring you the hard-hitting facts, okay?
Yeah.
We need this. We need this. Yes.
That's what we're here for. That's a code brown. We got to come up with a code,
Pretty
whatever.
much.
A code booger for that.
Oh,
Code green?
100%.
Code
Yeah.
nose hair.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always notice when my nose hair gets long and I try to like pull them, cut them out or whatever.
No,
then
don't.
I get like I sneeze a lot.
Stop
the next
offending
couple days.
Shari. Stop it.
Oh, hey, have you seen those things? Okay, dude, you should do this on the podcast. Okay, 100%. They have these things, and it's like a little ball, and it has wax, and then you stick in there, and then
Oh
you
my
yank it out,
God. Oh, I
and then you
cringe.
show
Ugh.
it, and it has all the
I want to do it. I want to do this. I've seen
do it
I've
on the
seen it
pod.
happen. I will. I've seen this happen. And
We gotta do it in person, and I need to be the one to yank.
There's times. Yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I'll allow
Please
it.
do that.
I'll allow it. I hate like if you
Anything for content.
This is
right?
my hair. It's very, very long right now. I like to be clean. I don't like a beard or anything. I just don't look good in one. I look like a complete sketch ball. But I hate the nose hair and when you can see it. So I want to take a wax thing and pull it all out. I really do want to do this. Like this is no joke.
No.
I
do
also
that,
want to
and then you know how you celebrate it? Pickle juice shots.
Yes. You know what else I want to try? I want to try, I think they call them like candle pin or candle something where they take this paper and put it in your ear and they light it on fire and it like cleans out all the earwax. I want to try
I have
this.
did that before. And my sister, she got so much earwax in there. It was so disgusting, but also like oddly satisfying. Like
Yes,
it's a
I think
weird,
that would be me.
like it's a gross, weird goodness. I don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would totally, that would be me. It would be extremely disgusting and then it'd be like squeaky clean.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
God.
just be like, ooh, but kind of
Yes.
thing. Yeah. 100%.
I would tell Erika, I will do it. We can do it.
Erika, you heard it here. He is going to do it. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna hold him to it.
You
It's happening.
you get
Oh
the
my God,
stuff,
I can't wait to see
you
it.
get the tools, and when I'm back at your house podcasting, we'll do something fun.
I'm
Have
so
you ever done? I call this the key to life, Shari. All right,
God.
it is a bottle, and when you have allergies and you got all the gunk in your nose, you take this bottle and you squeeze it up one nostril, and everything was pouring out the other
a neti
nostril.
pot? A neti pot?
Well, yes, it's a neti pot, but it's not the pot; it's a different bottle.
No.
It's the
I know. Okay, let me tell you a
Shari,
story about that.
It's amazing.
My dad, we go camping, like me and my grown son and his wife, and we all go camping, and my dad goes, and we went camping, and it was like freezing ass cold. My dad gets up before the rest of us, and we just hear this commotion, right? Well, he had filled up one of those squeezy things, and he did it, and the water was like almost frozen. It was so cold, and he shot it into himself, and then he was like, just like sneezing and coughing. There was a whole thing going on, and he was trying to tell us what happened. His eyes were crying, and at that moment, I knew that I would never do one of those things. So I have never did it, nor do I think I will do it.
Oh my God, that sounds so incredibly painful. Like I can't do that anyways. Like it just kind of grosses me out. But like that's brain freeze. You're like
Did you try
shooting
it?
cold. He did, not me.
Oh, I
You didn't
love
try
it now.
I was wondering.
It creates happiness in the household, not to be confused with a penis and an asshole. It's just happiness in the household.
Wait, so after, like, will that help with allergies?
Yeah. Well, yes. I only have to do it during allergy season. It helps when I'm all stuffed up and got those sinus headaches because I get that way during the when it goes from cold to hot and hot to cold.
Yeah, same. I should have done that when I had no nose hair. I think that things would have been better for me, but yeah.
Well, when you do it, you can still do it and you can record it and send it to us on the pod.
Okay, you know what? I might do that. We'll see. I'm 50-50 on it right now.
All right, I'll take that. That's a good chance for me, I think. I'm 100% in with the nose hair and the wax, Erika.
I love
I'm
it.
100% in.
You know, if I have brought nothing else to your life, at least I can bring you this.
We love to go off the tracks. That is for
Hey,
sure.
and that's what life's
I love
about,
it.
right?
I love it. let's go back to you're in the best shape of your life. You look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, damn, girl, you look fine. And then you have chemo. Or then you have cancer, and then you go through chemo and everything that is just involved in cancer life. Were you able to maintain, like, even just going to the gym and moving? Your energy was down, but were you still running or walking? Were you lifting?
Yeah, so I was pretty much able to run maybe the last like 3 or 4 weeks of chemo. I stopped running just because my some of my blood counts were a bit low, and like my breathe, it was hard to breathe basically.
Mm.
So I still walked though, and then yeah, I pretty much lifted the whole time, but I had like a chemo port, so like it's like inserted into your.
Oh.
So I
Yeah.
didn't do a lot of stuff with the barbell because you don't want to get like dirt
Well,
in
and
that,
that's
or like,
right where the bar would go when you're on the front clean.
oh,
Yeah.
and it's like it seems like there would be some magical thing that made it not a plastic thing like sticking under your skin, but like it just would get bumped and it would give you like the heat, like woo, like you know what I mean, like the heebie-jeebies. So I did a lot
Mm.
of. Thankfully, we have a garage gym, so germs weren't an issue because your
It's
immunity's a bit
COVID.
lower.
That's right. It was COVID.
Yeah, so but it was fine. At that time too, we shared our gym with some friends because they wanted to be able to work out. So we just had like we bought Clorox wipes, and everybody was super kind about like being considerate of times, and they would wipe everything down. And I thankfully I never got sick during chemo. I never really even got a cold. And yeah, I was pretty much able to exercise consistently. I have a run that I host at my house every week called Friday Fun Run.
And it
Gosh,
comes
I've been
with
having
goodies.
oh my
We'll
gosh,
talk
I've
about
been
that
having that
before we're
since
done.
like 2008. And it's just an awesome community, awesome group of people. And I was still able to have that every week. And it was just, and we moved it outside, even though it was cold. Everybody was super sweet about just bringing their own chair and bringing a jacket so that we could still have community and like connection with each other. And honestly, like your running group becomes your family in hard times. And my Friday Fun Run family definitely got me through some. I mean, I remember one day I had to get the CT scan and they found some spots and I was convinced like I was totally going to die. I'm like, oh my God, the cancer's everywhere. And I was like sobbing hysterically. You know, like when after you do something and you feel like you just like farted in front of everybody or like took off all your clothes or something. And you're just like, you feel so exposed. And that's when I knew. I mean, I already knew, but I knew these people were just absolute gems of human beings because nobody held anything for me in their eyes but like love, encouragement, and like just support. And I knew that it was okay to be authentically whatever I was in that moment. And
Mm-hmm.
man, this experience really showed me like, yeah, there's a lot of bad shit that's going on in the world and there's a lot of assholes, but you know what? There's a lot of just genuinely kind, remarkable human beings and they show up for each other. And I feel like my people showed up for me and that was a neat thing to be able to experience, like as a giver to receive from other people. And I think about that all the time and it makes me feel so just lucky.
We've heard so many good things about the running community from guests like yourself, and it makes my heart so warm knowing that like runners are there for other runners. Like it's just a community you can't break. We have this common bond, and it's stuck, and it's there forever. And it just warms me. It's so good.
And we talked about the community, the Instagram community, as
Yeah.
I'm scrolling through your
Yeah.
Instagram page. Like you were very vocal and you shared your story. It looks like from the beginning, you shared posts from like your first round of testing all the way to like you had a whole calendar or a list of like every month of everything that happened to you that year. You were very vocal about it. And that's probably one reason why you found our friends from the East Coast, but you were very vocal about it. You weren't like hiding anything. You wanted to share your journey.
You know, I was married for 20 years and I was in an abusive marriage and I had a peer group at the time that was very much religious and sort of like, hey, like go with the flow and kind of fit in and do things to keep the peace. And
Mm.
I just always thought that was normal. And I think after I got out of that, I told myself, I will never again be part of the conspiracy to act like everything's perfect I want nothing to do with that. I feel like that's almost committing fraud. And I think it's like fooling people into thinking that they're not normal when they're very normal. And so one of the things, I mean, I've talked about all kinds of things about cancer treatment, but that's because I don't want people to feel alone because, I mean, there's people, I get to talk to people all the time, like either through DMs or I'll just give people my cell phone number if they are scared and they want to talk to somebody because when you're alone and you feel like alone in the world and you feel like there's something wrong with you, that's just so isolating and you can believe so many lies. And I just really want women to know that whatever they're going through or however they're feeling, it's okay and it's normal for them. And like, you're not alone. Like somebody out there is experiencing what you're experiencing and it's okay.
That's wonderful, Shari. Oh, you're I knew I liked you to begin with, but this is just even better.
Oh, thank you. That's really encouraging.
Let's tell everyone, Erika, you liked her the moment she said,
Can we swear? Can I cuss? And I'm like,
she goes,
absolutely.
I like to
here we go.
cuss. She goes, I like to cuss.
She
And
had
Erika's
me.
like,
She had me.
yes.
This
One
was
of
not
your
made for TV.
one of your posts here is today's my last day chemo, and I love that you got like a big poster here. 16 rounds, 5 months. How long is a round of chemo? Is that one day going in, or is that multiple days, like a week's worth, or?
So the way my chemo worked, I did 2 different types of chemo. The first one was called AC, and I got that every other week for 4 doses. And that chemo is particularly nasty. There's one called the Red Devil. It's
Yeah,
one of the
we
medications.
learned about that.
Yeah, and that one they have to push by hand, and it can cause a lot of electrical issues with your heart.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and so that one was so there was 8 weeks of that, and then Taxol was the next one I got, and that one was once a week for 12 weeks. So I got that every week. So and with Taxol, one of the interesting things about it is it can cause neuropathy in your hands and feet. So like either pain, numbness, loss of function. And so I wore these like frozen gloves and slippers, which were incredibly painful and super annoying because you couldn't go on your phone like when you're sitting there like getting infused. But yeah, thankfully I didn't have any neuropathy from that. But I think the thing that sucked about the 12-week one that was every week is by the time you would feel better, it was time to get it again. So that kind of sucked. It was kind of nice when I was on the 2-week one, even though it was worse, because you would have like 3 or 4 days where you felt like a human, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Quick question. So that 5 months of chemo was just to treat your breast cancer, and then you had radiation, and then you found the colon cancer. So what did you have to do for the colon cancer? Did you have to repeat all this like chemo again? Oh, my goodness.
You know what? This is my plug to everybody that's listening. They are now recommending colonoscopies at age 35. And that is because there's such a high incidence of colon cancer in young people. I'm telling you, I eat at least 25 grams of fiber every day. I drink at least 3 liters of water a day. I've been active. I have no risk factors. And I had colon cancer. When they did my colonoscopy, they fully removed it and I had to have 0 treatment after. So
wow.
This is just my plug. I know people think, oh, I don't want to get a colonoscopy. It's so terrible. I think the worst part, okay, it's not fun having to drink that stuff and like basically pee out of your butthole, but like you don't get cramps, you don't have a stomach ache or whatever. The worst part is you can't eat for a day. You have to just drink clear liquids. But like if you can literally just get a procedure that will save your life and they don't have to do any other treatment, why not do it? So get your colonoscopies.
I'm past the 35 age. I need to look into that. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, sometimes they'll just do like, there's a test where they can test for blood in your stool. And so they'll just do that. But anyway, so, oh, my husband's coming home. Hi, honey. I'm on a podcast.
He's totally cool. I know he has a great head of hair, just like me. I already like the guy.
Yeah, no, he has the exact same head of hair as
Yes, it's a great head of hair.
Yeah, my husband's so awesome. I really love him.
There's a lot of pictures of you and your husband on here, actually, and you had...
Yeah, shout him out. Go ahead. How'd you guys meet?
We actually met on Facebook. I thought he was somebody else at my CrossFit gym, so I befriended him. And yeah, we started talking, and it's hilarious because he's a lot more type B and I'm type A. And I feel like we're like a meme. like of just all of the little issues that you go through when you're totally opposite personalities. But he has really taught me how to be in the moment and like appreciate the small things in life. And I can't even say enough. People that are caregivers and partners to those that are sick or going through treatment or cancer, they don't get enough credit because they're doing the same stuff with you, and everybody's focused on the person that's getting the treatment. And I mean, he's the best.
Who else played a crucial role during your treatment? Like your husband? How about your kids or family, your parents, or if they were still around? Who else was a part of Team Shari?
I will say my Friday Fun Run family was huge. I have a couple of really good girlfriends that, went on hikes with me and stopped when I needed to stop, and just came and sat with me when I couldn't really be alone. And even though I didn't have anything to give, they were with me and didn't let me be alone. I have, at my work, I work really closely with my boss, and it's a husband-wife that owns my company, and they were really good to me, and really like understanding about appointments and stuff like that. And really just, yeah, I mean, and my kids, I'm really close with my kids. I feel like everybody just kind of did their own role in the things that they were good at to like cheer me up or bring me something. I love candy. And so like people would just bring me little treats. And I just had a lot of people give me like funny mugs, like with cuss words on them, or just little things that to me helped me know that I wasn't alone. And like, one friend gave me this mug. It was actually my cousin gave me this mug that you would drink out of every time you will have chemo. And then at the end of chemo, you smash it. So it says like, this is my chemo mug and I'm going to smash it when I'm done. And so I had a mug smashing party, and like I smashed it with a sledgehammer, and like all my friends came, and then we ate cake, and it was awesome.
That sounds like a fun occasion. Very worth smashing some mugs over.
100%. And don't you think like sometimes we get together and we talk about like negative things, but sometimes we don't do enough celebrating about like the good things. And like, cause I think we feel silly about celebrating small things as grownups or whatever, but like we should just celebrate like the cool things that happen. Yeah, totally. So that was fun.
All right, Shari. So we've had Angela, our good friend, kind of give us a little bit of talking points here and talking points there. And we want to know the background behind your live videos from your staircase. You want to clue us in on that?
Yeah. So when I decided that I was going to go public with my diagnosis and sort of be public about my experience with the diagnosis process and the treatment, understandably, a lot of people wanted to know what was going on. And so I kind of like thought to myself, okay, like this is like the cancer hotline, like, hello, cancer hotline. And so one day I was sitting on my stairs, eating cereal, because what else do you do when you have cancer and you're overwhelmed, but get a bowl of shredded wheat and sit on your stairs and eat it. And I thought, you know what? Is there anything more real than sitting on your stairs, eating a bowl of cereal because your life isn't fucking together? And I thought, I'm just going to go live with this right now. And I don't think I had ever done a live before. And so it was like, please wait. And I'm like, do I wait? Like, what's happening? This is so new. And so I was like, I'm eating this bowl of cereal. I'm right here. This is the cancer hotline. And I started giving updates and sort of real-time reactions, obviously, like after I had a little bit of time to process. But I even shared a live update from the stairs the day that I found out I had to have chemo. And I think if you look at that video, you can tell I had been crying most of the day. And I was trying to be at least neutral about it, but I wasn't. But I felt like it's so important for people to see the truth and not just see this polished, like, hey, I did this marathon and life's great. It's important for people to see, like, look, my eyes are red and this sucks and I'm sad and I'm disappointed and I don't know what to do, but I'm just going to keep going. And I feel like people need to understand that the dark and like terrible parts of themselves that they're ashamed of, those are common to all of us. And so I really hoped to, and the reason I made myself do it live is that I didn't want it to be polished. I wanted to be able to stumble over my words or have myself tear up and not edit that out. I didn't want to edit myself out of my own life because I didn't like what I saw. Even as I gained weight and I lost hair and I lost my eyelashes and I looked pale and unrecognizable to myself, I thought, at some point, this is the real experience. And I think too often we see the end part, or we see the part after people have resolved the conflict, and we don't see the messy middle. And the messy middle is really where we live. It's like,
Absolutely.
people need to understand, like, that's a real thing. It's not something that, like, we did this and then, oh, great, we're fine now. No, bullshit. Nobody's like that. And I think that's becoming more acceptable. But like I said before, I don't want anything to do with this, like, totally filtered, like, positive all the time bullshit that goes on. I don't want anything to do with that. So that was really what the lives were about. Lives are kind of scary too, because you're like, oh my God, nobody's listening. Everybody hates me. Like, oh, I feel so stupid. Like, why did I think anybody cared what I had to say?
No, I know what you mean, because Erika
I
and
can
I try to
relate.
do them sometimes, and we get like 2 listeners, maybe not even any.
We're
and
like, woohoo, too.
I go,
But one of them was me.
yeah, she totally was.
That happened at work.
I'm like,
Anyways, yeah.
hours later, you get a lot of views, so that you're
Right.
live in the moment, and I'm like, it will grow, but no, totally the same thing. It's like, we do it, and it's like, no one's watching. It's fine. We can screw up, and then we can delete it if we do.
I totally appreciate you just putting yourself out there and being real, because that is what I like to see out there. Like, sure, you could have your shiny medals and whatever, and it's just so refreshing to see somebody as is. Like, there's no need to cover up and try to be someone you're not. Like, I love that you are unapologetically you. Like, you're owning yourself. You went through all this, and you're gonna tell it like it is. So I commend you for doing that, and to keep doing that, because that's what we need to see more. Like, you don't need that filtered bullshit. Like you said. I mean, keep it up, Shari. Keep it up.
Thank
So-
you. I feel like, don't you think, like, I don't know. I feel like, do you have that going on? Because I feel like I wasted so much of my freaking life trying to play a role. And I'm like, damn, I could have lived my whole life this free. And I'm not going back, let me tell you.
I'm starting to let loose myself a little bit more, but like,
Good.
I mean, in the days of Instagram, everything is all about the algorithm now, and you have to put up like what they want to see, or else nobody's going to see your shit. And it just, I don't know, it's exhausting to try to keep up with what other people want to see, or like what they want you to show. And it's just better to just be yourself, and people are going to watch if they want to watch, and that's how it's got to be.
I think one of the things too that I realized in, like, this era of, like, I'm going to be me is I'm not for everybody. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that something's wrong with them or they're a bad person, because, like, everybody's not for me either. And I think that realization, because I used to think, like, either I'm doing something wrong or they're doing something wrong. It's like, no, sometimes you're just not their cup of tea, and that's okay. Like,
that's how you find your people. You find your people that way, when you just find the like-minded stuff. It's good. I love it.
Yes, same. I love it too so much. Like, I like hear what you're saying, and I'm like, my heart is like, yes, in solidarity with you.
I'm not too worried about the algorithm yet. As going to your Instagram conversation, Erika, because when we grow a little more, I'll worry.
Well, you see, you are focused on yours, but my Instagram account, like, I don't give a shit what I'm going to put up what I want to put up.
I just want to make a point. Like, I'll work really hard on a clip of, like, this podcast, and I'll work hard on it, and I think, like, this is a great message or something, and it will get, like, maybe 500 views in a week. And then I post a picture of a 9-second video of my boy Tyler walking my UFOs, and it blows up.
Right.
Don't try to figure it out.
I know. Just keep doing what you want to do, and be original with your content.
It is weird though, what hits and what doesn't. You're like, really? That's what it was? Oh,
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know what's gonna hit? The nose hair thing.
Yes.
100%.
Can't wait.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Totally. That's gonna slap. I'm just saying.
So it is October of 2023. I'm looking at a list of everything you had done from January 2022 to last March. This is an extensive list. Just 3 days ago or 2 days ago, you ran the St. George Marathon. So is that your first marathon since like this list began?
It is. No, I ran LA Marathon in March of last year, right before I had that partial mastectomy.
That's right.
And then, but it's my first full marathon since chemo. And I had a full hysterectomy with a really delightful complication that they tore my bladder, and I got to carry around a bag of my pee for a week. So that was awesome.
That was back in March. So like
Yeah, the very
6
end of
months
March.
ago. So
Yeah.
how was training for a marathon post chemo compared to before cancer?
Very humbling. I ended up hiring a coach to help me because I was really struggling because I couldn't run at paces that I was used to at all. I mean, it was to where, you know, when you get to that place in a run where you're like in the pain cave, your senses are like dulled. You're kind of trying to disassociate because you're like, this is just shit. I want to finish it. Like, you don't feel good. It's crap, you know? I was feeling like that every single run. And so I thought, well, maybe I just can't run anymore. And that was where Angela kind of helped me because she started posting some of her stuff. And I'm like, oh, she's running at paces that I could probably run at, and they're a bit more reasonable. So I reached out to her about her method that she used, and she shared that with me, which is called 80-20, which is basically, I'm sure you guys have heard of it, but basically 80% below ventilatory threshold. And I started to train like that. And it was similar to what you said. I started to actually like running again and like look forward to it. And I realized nobody fucking cares if you're running a 13-minute pace. Nobody cares. Like, just go out and do what you want to do and like make yourself happy. And that was definitely, I've always been used to being very competitive and very, I guess, badass in a certain kind of way. And I think this was a really hard pill to swallow, but also I will say, I think that it's made me a much better person. You know, can I just say, this is, as I say, this is Shari 2.0, right? So this is my first marathon, is Shari 2.0. It's slower than any of the marathons that I've done in my previous running career. But what an absolute experience to run at that part of the pack and hear the conversations and see the absolute community, teamwork, people teaming up with other people they don't know. I saw these girls, cutest girls that were like just dead, saying, okay, like hey, okay, what was your name again? Okay, like Jennifer, let's run to that green sign. Do you think we can do it? Yeah, we can do it. And just seeing people, like the goodness of humanity. And I'm like, I would have never gotten to experience this. This is so cool. And so I think it's been an exercise in asking myself the real reason why I do things and accepting responsibility for what I choose to do rather than feeling like a victim and like I'm blown back and forth by circumstances, because this is my body now. I can choose to accept it and do what I can with it, or I can be pissed all the time. But either way, like, that's my choice, you know? So that's been, I have to learn that like over and over again so many times.
Make it your new mantra. Just repeat it like as many times as you need to hear it.
Absolutely.
Make it stick.
Absolutely. And this is, I got, I can do hard things tattooed on my wrist. So I can remind myself that, you know, sometimes you do hard things and it's Boston qualifying and that's hard. And sometimes you walk the last miles of a marathon and you're not sure your body's going to keep going. And that's your hard thing. And they're both hard things. They just look a little bit different.
So
your body's been through hell. You got to be proud of all those little milestones.
Gosh, definitely, for sure. You have to learn to celebrate like the small wins. And I think you have to learn that consistency is putting little drops into a big bucket, and it takes a long time for that to fill up. And you just have to keep putting the drops in, even though like that's not sexy content. Nobody wants to see like, oh, look, I ran a 13-minute mile again for 5 miles and I didn't feel horrible. Nobody wants to see that, but that's what you have to do.
So how was the St. George Marathon this past weekend?
It was awesome. It was such, I was talking to my coach, Alex. She's awesome. Have you guys heard of Tactic Nutrition? Anyway,
No, but shout it out.
my coach is with Tactic. She and her wife run Tactic, and she was asking me, how the race went, and I thought one of the coolest things was I didn't judge myself. When I had to walk, I walked. When my joints started like giving way, I was like, I'm not going to be embarrassed about this. Like I came here to finish. I came here to finish and to have a good attitude and to do my first baseline marathon and see where I'm at and challenge myself. And you're going to do that today. So like, I was a little nervous because there was a 6:15 cutoff. So I was like, okay, like you can't walk too much, But let me tell you, oh my gosh, I have to tell you this. It's so cool. So you know how sometimes in races you go like this with people and you see them and then they go slower and then you see them again. So that happened with this gal. And we started chit-chatting around mile 12 and she's like, oh, my earphones died. And so we started running together and talking, and she had a shirt on that said she was running for Liz. And so I asked her who Liz was, and she said she was her sister-in-law, and she had breast cancer. And she had run this marathon 11 times, but she had recently had a recurrence of her breast cancer and was now on hospice. And so she wasn't well. And so they had this big family that all came, and they were all wearing these, matching shirts, and they had all either done the full or the half marathon to honor and support Liz, who couldn't do it. So I ended up running the rest of the race with her, and it was just a really wonderful experience. Her Liz's husband ended up joining us as he had a muscle pull in the race and was our pace because of that. And we just really connected over how shitty cancer is and how fragile life is. And when we finished, I had bought a hat for the race that said "fuck cancer" on it because it's one of my favorite sayings. And I was able to meet Liz after the race and tell her that I had gotten to run with her husband, and I gave her the hat. And it was a moment that really brought together for me that running doesn't always have to be about PRs and times. It can be about being exactly where you're at and being grateful. And that was just really a bow on the gift of like, wow, I got to do this. I didn't know if I would ever be able to do this again. And so I know I'm probably like glamorizing, like, marathons are hard and it was hot and I was tired, but it was just, it felt like the reward for continuing to have hope when it seemed bleak. And it just felt like something big. And that experience with Liz's family it was beautiful. I mean, you could all just tell they just all really loved her. And and she was a beautiful person too. So it was a really wonderful experience. I will say, have you guys ever did that one?
Nope.
I have not. Nope.
Okay, don't let anybody tell you that's a straight downhill marathon. There is a lot of fucking hills in that marathon. I was like, oh, look, another fucking hill. Oh, look, a 7% grade. That's cool. No worries. We'll just run up this. Like, no problem. So, there was that. But anyway.
You did it, and you made some friends along the way, and that's
I did.
That's a wonderful takeaway.
You said you said you towed the camper there. You do a lot of camping. Is that an easy trip? Is St. George, Utah far from where you are?
It was about 6 hours getting there. So no, it's not too far. The trailer, my husband and I have always been tent campers, and we like backpack and stuff like that. Well, when I was on chemo, like it was really hard to do things because I had chemo every Friday, and it just causes side effects where you don't want to be too far from like a restroom and stuff like that.
Right.
And you know what I mean. And so
we're here for
totally I guilted my husband. Like I'm like, let's go look at trailers. And we went there and I was like, we're going to buy a trailer. And he's like, no, like we need to plan. And I was like, I have cancer and I just don't know what the future holds. So we need to buy the trailer. So we totally it was a total chemo purchase. And we took it up to the local mountains almost every weekend when I was on chemo because it felt like we could actually do something and like not be stuck in the house. Like we could like we got a bird feeder, like it's like we're 80-year-olds, but like just had our coffee and like watched the birds and like went on little hikes that I could do and like felt like we were still living life. And so, man, I freaking love that thing. If you're a tent camper and you camp in a trailer, it's like bougie city. Like
Yes.
you feel like we're like high class now.
I got a trailer too, and I love it. Love
Okay,
it.
right? Is it not
Yes.
like, are you like, why
It's-
didn't I get one of these before?
Especially with kids. Well, I had as a kid, we were tent campers, and then my parents got a pop-up, and then they upgraded to a trailer camper. And so I had that like as a teenager. And then when I was, out of the house and everything, I had a tent, and I would tent, and then my daughter and I would tent, and then we had twins, and we needed tent camping wasn't going to happen. So when I'm Googling campers, long story short, I went on Twitter, I saw something, I took my shot, and I won a camper.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yes.
What did you get? That's amazing.
I got it.
It's
It looks.
big.
It look. Well, it's not. It looks a lot like your camper, the same size. I know the brand that you have, or I've seen it out there, and I really like it. And I was looking at them, but I want a Coleman Lantern 17B, so it's a little 17-footer. It's really like 22 feet. It's perfect. You know what? If I was buying my own, I just would have bought like the next grade up that had a little more storage space. Something I lack in both my home and my camper is storage space, but no big deal. But it's a game changer with kids because I can just throw everything in there.
Yep.
Versus before tent camping, it's like, what can we fit in the truck?
Oh, and you know what's great about it? Like even taking it to a race. I think this is the first time I've ever taken it to a race, but it was awesome because like I had my coffee pot, I had everything. I could like lay out all my stuff. I knew like I could pack all my own food. We had full hookup, so we have a freaking microwave in the thing. I mean,
Yes.
come on. But it was just awesome. And I feel like as having tent camped like with my kids, and we still camp, like we took a week vacation to Yosemite and they still tent camp or whatever. But having a kitchen, like I freaking brought those like frozen lasagna things from Costco for like family dinner when we were camping. And I was like, oh, let me just put this in the oven. Like what? I mean, come on. It's amazing. I agree with you. It's totally a game changer. And we really love it. And me and my husband aren't very fancy. We're like not fancy. And so we kind of feel fancy because we have a trailer because we were tent campers for so long. So like when we go places, we're like, and our trailer is usually like seriously like ghetto compared to like other people's trailers because they have like, I mean, ours is about the same size as yours. It's like a 21 foot.
Yes.
So like, but they have these like, the ones with like the shiny stuff on it and they have their tone and matching Jeep and whatnot. Yep. And we're there like the little baby, like, wah, wah, like here's our little trailer, but we're just there happy as a clam. Like
it's
we got
all you trailer. Need. Unless you're living in it full time, it's all you need. And you could live 100%. In it full time.
Oh, 100%. Ours has like a, the couch, it has a Murphy bed. So it folds into the wall and then there's a couch there. So it's perfect for us. Yeah, we've taken it on week-long trips and just been great with it. So we love it. I mean, trailer life forever.
Yes, I love it. I love
That's how I would do it. I'm not much of a camper either way, but that is what I would prefer to do. Is have those.
I love on occasion, and once a year is great because I do this big event on Mount Washington, but I love sleeping in a tent. But just me, no kids all over you, and little tiny feet in your face, and just me. So I get to do it once a year at least, and then the rest is in the camper, and I love it. Oh, it's a game changer.
Do you backpack or do you car camp? Like, do you drive to where you're going to camp, and then you like take your tent out of your car and set it up by your car?
Yes, yeah, car camp. Okay, I thought you meant sleeping in my car. No, I would love to do some backpacking adventures when when my kids are a little older and I can get out of the house a little more. I do have some goals or some things I'd like to do. We have a friend of ours who does a ton of that, and both Erika and I are like envious of her. So
mm-hmm. It's awesome. If you guys ever want to come out here, I can take you on a cool trip, and I have friends that can loan you gear. So there's some great really mild like local hikes where it's not that long of a hike. You can camp near water. It's some good backpacking out here.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to dabble more in that. I would absolutely love to.
It's definitely once your kids. I mean, my kids are grown, so like it's a game changer once your kids grow up a little bit.
So something we do here on the podcast is we ask you these two big questions. They're extremely huge questions, tough to answer some of them really easy to answer. I don't think I prepped you for this at all. So
Oh,
that's the best
I'm not
part.
scared.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen. What I do is I go really creeping in your Instagram and I try to find something. So I found a photo and I want to know the story behind the photo.
Okay.
I went 215 weeks ago. So I went back.
Jesus.
I
Okay.
went back. Let me pull this up. Here is a photo of you, or maybe you're just taking the photo and it says "Before I Die." And it has a ton of, it looks like it's a chalkboard actually, has so many things written
Oh.
on it. And
Oh.
it's a mural. I can't say that
Uh-huh.
right, mural, but
Yep.
you even write here that this is something you're going to try to do at your house. You're creating a space at my house where people can dream about their biggest hopes and goals. So
Yeah.
is this at your house or where is it? Did you do this at your house? And tell us the story behind the photo.
I will. Hold on.
Oh, ooh, show and tell. I like this.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I can't see the screen. Okay.
So even 215 weeks ago, I mean what I say and I do what I say.
There it
Hold on.
is.
So all the people from Friday Fun Run have all written down the things they want to do.
Oh, I love it.
And it's hi honey. And it's posted. It's a chalkboard that one of the people from Friday Fun Run, his son has a woodworking business, so I ordered this chalkboard for him. And people have added to it, and we take it out and look at it from time to time. And some of the people have achieved some of the things on there, and some of us haven't. But that's something that we really talk about in our Friday Fun Run group is things we want to accomplish and who we want to be. And when I saw that, I was like, I'm totally inspired to do this. And this, I don't remember how long. So 215 weeks. That was like, what, 4 years ago or 5 years ago? Oh, well, I can tell you. It must have been in 2019 because I can see that everybody wrote the date on there that they put their goals or whatever. But isn't that cool? Like to think of, and also to look back and go, oh my gosh, that's what I wanted to do in 2019. Oh, okay. But like we have a gal in our group, Emily. She is like crazy adventurous. She does all kinds of like amazing shit. And one of her things was like live out of a van and see all the things. And she's like built her own camper van, and like she went riding with her brother like in Europe, and it like just awesome stuff. And it's like when you're around people like that, you can't help but be better.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It just
I'm like,
goes to show
wow,
how
I
much
have
you
that right here.
That was
it goes
awesome.
to show how much you can change too. Like even just living your
Yes.
life, like your dreams can change and evolve, and sometimes you do hit them and sometimes it takes longer to get to that point. So
Yes,
it's a good
time
reminder.
capsule, like of what your hopes and dreams were. Yeah, totally. It does change a lot. That's a
I
really
like
good
that.
point.
Oh, I want to
Yeah.
say this. Of the 3,775 Instagram posts you've made, I picked the perfect one that just happened to also be in your room and you had a little show and tell. Like I put a lot into my random Instagram question. I'm like, I got to find something good.
Yeah, I feel like that was really, I mean, I feel like you had some sort of sixth sense on that. Like that was pretty cool.
I'll be honest, I found it about halfway through our interview as I'm scrolling your Instagram still. I'm like, ooh, I said, ooh, I'm changing my question.
At least he's honest about it. See,
The first one was actually just 5 days ago. It was your little notepad of you were writing, 1, I'm strong and resilient. I can do hard things. 2, I'm prepared and ready. So I think you did this before your St. George Marathon, but there's a lot of Instagram posts there that are just words and sayings or mantras that you post for yourself. I noticed too. So that was my original question. My original Instagram pick was your notepad, and then
Oh yeah.
I changed it up.
Yeah, you know, the words that we say to ourselves really matter. And like sometimes you think they don't because it seems cheesy to say that, like, oh, it doesn't matter, like whatever. It's the same thing. But it's not the same thing. Like when I tell myself after this race, okay, so you got your baseline race post chemo, great job. It's not, oh, this was my slowest marathon ever. Those are two totally different things. They're not the same thing. And you're talking about the same event, but the words we use matter a lot, for sure.
Is it my turn now? Is it my turn for my question?
It is your turn. And let me just tell you, we're not done because I have 2 more notes of things I want to talk about before. So this isn't the last one. We're having way too much fun. I hope you're not on like a time constraint. It's getting close to dinner time.
I have 24% battery, so
You got
that might be my time percent. But I got some time. But all right, Shari. So if you're familiar with the podcast, we have our own Spotify playlist, and we like to invite the guests to add whatever song they are feeling at the moment, anything that just pumps you up, makes you feel good. Would you like to add a song?
Oh, I think so. But it might be on there already.
That is okay.
Okay.
Just whatever you like.
Kesha, Woman.
I don't
believe we have this one.
Shut up, Steve. If I want to I'm a motherfucking woman, okay? Whenever I hear that, I know I'm in trouble. If I'm blasting that song, he's like, oh shit, what did I do?
This is 100% yours because I do not believe we have that on there. So
yes,
I'm going to think of you every time I hear it.
It has the F word in it, baby.
Perfect. Perfect.
That's Erika's jam.
That's a great song, by the way.
Yeah, I love that song.
All right, I have 2 more things I want to ask because during our interview, you might say something I might be like, ooh, but one thing was creeping through your gram. I saw a Peloton treadmill. So are you big into the Peloton community? And if you are, who's your go-to instructor?
Okay, so during COVID, we got a bike and totally loved it because we were taking spinning classes at the local gym. Because at that time I was mostly powerlifting. So I wanted to, maintain like some like cardiovascular fitness. So we got the Peloton bike and I totally loved it. Robin Arzon is my go-to. Like, I just love her. She's amazing. I love her energy. I love her confidence. I love that she wants to help women feel like comfortable in their own skin. So we ended up getting the Peloton treadmill and I love that thing. It's the actual treadmill itself is like these steel, like bars that rotate instead of a belt. And I love it. We ended up getting rid of the bike because after COVID, I'm like, I'd just rather be outside. But the treadmill's great because, it's like a freaking oven here, like for the summer. So, I can turn the fan on in the garage and do some miles or whatever. But I love Robin. She's definitely my go-to. Like, I love her.
Great choice. Great choice. I actually got to meet her once. I ran the New York City Marathon back in 2021 and I was in the same like tent as her. And I was like the awkward, like, oh my God, you're Robin. Like, can I get a picture?
Was she nice?
She was super nice. Yeah. I caught her on the way to, like, she was coming back from the toilets and I was like, Robin? Hi. Me awkward. Awesome. Like, yeah. Super, super nice. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great. I love her. I was always a Cody Rigsby fan too, though, because he was just so, like, his energy is just like none other. I love it.
Is he the one who does the Britney rides?
Yes. Oh, and okay, can we just agree? He's an amazing dancer. I'm like trying to like do his like dance moves, and I dance really poorly, but and I usually end up injuring myself. Like I kick some. It's very bad. But he like dances so good on the bike, and he's like he has the face. When they're like he's just so great. Yeah, he's awesome.
He's fantastic.
I saved his 10-minute Britney ride as a saved ride. So sometimes when I got a Matt Whippler's ride coming up or something, I just want to like get an extra 10 in. I will sometimes do his 10-minute warm up.
Hell yeah! I'm
get
just
you
saying,
in the mood. Get you ready.
Yeah, oh, he does. He does. He totally does. So great.
He's great. We love the Peloton community. We both got the bikes. Erika also has the treadmill. She's a big Bex fan. So,
Bex, I love.
She's so sweet.
And even when she does like costumes or anything, how does she always just look so adorable? Like she could have these like little headband with things like bopping, and she's running like a 6-minute pace or whatever, and she's like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. And you're like, yeah,
she makes it look easy, but I love when she has her Halloween rise and she was like the scary clown and like everybody else is being cute and she's like wearing the scary costume. I'm like,
yeah, it's like Lindsay
love
Lohan
her
in
sense of
Mean
humor.
Girls when she was like that, like Dracula bride
Yeah.
or whatever.
walked
So
in
good.
and all the other girls are dressed like as little sexy whatever things, and she's like,
Yeah.
did Halloween for real. That was
Yeah,
great.
she didn't know the rule. Like, be Lindsay Lohan. I'm just saying. Oh, maybe just in that one specific circumstance, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
I think her name is Katie. Just be Katie.
Yeah, just be
Hey,
Katie.
yep.
Exactly.
The one other thing I want to talk to you about, and you mentioned it, we've been fortunate to actually have multiple people on the podcast who were at the Boston Marathon in 2013, and they were there at the bombing. It wasn't like they were at mile 10. We had Mike Beeman, and Mike just missed the finish line, but he got credit for finishing. And he had this whole story about trying to find his way home and having some Boston college kids take him in because he was cold. And then we had Erika help.
Jeannie Rice was there.
Jeannie Rice was there. She's like the world record holder for the fastest 70, 75, 77, 78-year-old woman in the world. She was there in 2013, going back for her 30th anniversary of running the Boston Marathon. And she was like behind the stands and the bombing happened across the street. What was your Boston Marathon experience in 2013?
So I had just finished, and I had a friend named Dexter. Well, I have him still, and he's a race photographer, and I'm knowing him locally here. Well, he happened to be there taking photos at the finish, so I crossed the finish line and I saw him. So I finished, and then I chatted with him for a bit because it was so random to see somebody local here in Boston. And I was chatting with him, literally like right by the metal area when the bombs blew up. So there were like two explosions, and it was like a weird rumbling and a weird noise, and you could see the finish line obscured the actual, like the arch obscured the people that were in that area, but you could see the rubble, like flying things from there.
Oh, wow.
And so the first time we were all like, what was that? And then it was like, oh, that was like a bomb. And so I went over to meet my ride, and it was just bedlam. I mean, the others have probably described it, but it was just, I've never experienced anything like it. There were emergency vehicles everywhere. People were like freaking the fuck out. The cell phone signals were scrambled, so you couldn't make any calls or anything. And my family was my kids and stuff. They had all seen that I was in the finishers area by my tracker and thought the worst. And so, and it took, gosh, I think I had to walk like 8 miles after or something because, you get so many places there by public transportation. And I was like, I'm not going in a fucking subway. Like, I'll go above the ground train, but I'm not going underground. Like, It's not happening. So I had this space blanket, and you don't have any, and after you run, how you like get the shivers, and it was some crazy crap. It was a really sad thing that happened because that was truly the most wonderful marathon experience I ever had up till that point, because that whole race is like the energy of a finish line. I mean, there's just people everywhere, and they're so genuinely excited to be there and see you, and little kids and people with funny signs. It was very surreal, I guess. I don't know that I was necessarily frightened as much as I was just like, is this really happening? Yeah. So it was just a very weird experience. I think, do you guys have a moment where you felt like, I'm a real runner? Like, do you each have a moment of that? Or have you always kind of felt like a real runner? Or do you feel like a real runner?
I get imposter syndrome like all the time. Like, there are times where I'm like, what am I doing? I don't belong here. But there was one time I think it was in London, and it was the first time I have ever run like my fastest marathon, and I cried, and I felt like I was supposed to be where I was. Like, I was doing exactly what I was meant to do. So that was my moment. I mean, it takes forever to get there, but like, you just feel it in your bones. It feels right.
Yes.
I had it during the years of COVID because I was like, or just before COVID too, because I was doing the Ironman. And when I finished my Ironmans, I was like, I really felt it. Today, I get more of that imposter syndrome because I have a running podcast with Erika and I run so little now compared to what I used to. And people are like, oh, you have a running podcast? And they go, oh, like, what's your marathon time? And I'm like, I've only run one marathon, maybe two if you count the Ironman. And then I'm like, yeah, I was asked the other day, how many miles you run a week? And I'm like, 8, maybe 10. And they're like,
Fine.
and I'm like, yeah, but I have a running podcast. I'm amping up though.
If
I
you
hired a
run,
running
you're a
coach.
runner.
I
Yeah.
feel like you're right. If you run, you're a runner. I will say I felt like a real runner when I qualified for Boston, but I did not feel like a real runner at Boston because I was like, dude, like, are you guys aware that we already qualified? Like, we don't have to be serious here. Like, we can do whatever the fuck we want. Like, we already got here. And I'm like taking selfies and like,
Yeah.
people were serious. Like, the runners were like somebody pooed on their self, like onto their self. And I'm like, okay, we're back here. We're not the winners. Like, what are
who
you
are
doing?
they? Send them to us.
Oh my God. It was so gross. Like, anyway, but during that race, I was like, am I a real runner? Cause like, I'm having fun. And like, that was back in the day when we had like the Canon Sure Shot, like instead of your cell phone, you know, I'm dating myself.
Yep.
But,
our friend Scott Black, he was that way too. He's like, I'll hire a triathlon coach for Kona when I qualify for Kona. I'm like, no, hire a coach now, qualify for Kona, and then Kona's your victory lap.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it.
110%. You know what? I have a great coach. She programs my nutrition, my running, and my lifting for me. And, you know, I'm probably like the least like fast or whatever that I've ever been. But for me, that's just, I feel like you don't have to be elite to have a coach. It's just like, for me, it's really motivating. And it also helps me train appropriately and not beat myself up and think, oh, you need to do more or whatever. And coaches are rad. Like, honestly, I feel like they're game changers for sure.
Well, I am experiencing my first coach right now. I just finished week 1, and I'll give like a bi-weekly update of what running with a run coach is like. And maybe she will get me to the level where Tracksmith would call me a runner. We'll see.
You know what? Doubtful. Ooh, we're going to go there. We're going to go to the Tracksmith debacle. Wow.
I had to get that in when you said something about, you know, if you run, you're a runner.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because there's a local running store here. And, you know, especially when you're first running or if you have an injury, you hang out there and like, you know, I don't know, because you need to talk about your injury or whatever. But I had just run my 50 miler and somebody came in and asked, oh, like what water pack do you use? And I was telling the gal, oh, well, I don't work here. Like, I'm not a real runner. Like, you should ask them. And the gal that works there, Doreen, she was like, Shari, you're a real runner. And I'm like, you think? And she's like, you just ran a 50 miler. And I'm like, yeah, but like it was slow and like whatever. She's like, oh my gosh. So I think we all experienced that to some degree for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, this was fun. Angela was right. If I went back, I'm not going to go, but if I went back into all my DMs with Angela, she at some point said, you're just going to love her. She's great. So much energy and does cancer, no cancer. She'd be like a great guest.
Oh, thank you. It was really actually, I was having sort of like a hard day because work was crazy today. And this actually like put me in a great mood. So I actually really appreciate being able to talk to you guys. Thank you.
I just marked that clip. We've heard a few people have now said that, and I'm so excited to hear that. That is great. We did one interview in the morning a while ago, and she goes, "This is the best way to start my day." And in your case, we just helped bring your day back up. Go and enjoy a great dinner with Steve and that great head of hair he has, and your chemo curls that are extremely adorable, as everyone says. Yeah, have a great rest of your day. You're awesome. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. Of course, thank you, and I hope you guys have a great night.
Shari, it was our pleasure.
Oh yeah, it was really nice to talk to you. And do you have your own separate Instagram, Erika?
I do. I am Eham Shazam.
I have mine own too.
Okay, I'm gonna. But is it linked on the runs?
It is. Yes,
Okay.
you can find it there.
You know, when you go to
Okay,
your
cool.
bio and you click like more, there'll be 2 little microphones, and the microphones next to it will be our own individual handles.
Well, maybe I'm going to find some of your posts and then I'm going to ask you questions.
That's always fun.
Yeah, stay in touch. Like, let's do this again. What's your next big race? Do you know? Do you have one planned?
You know what? I'm actually going to run Napa half marathon with Angela in March. So that'll be great.
Excellent.
Why don't we
Yeah, I'm really
bring?
excited. I'm actually going to run Philadelphia half marathon with another cancer survivor that I met on Instagram next month.
Awesome.
Amazing. We got to get a recap from you. We'll have to have you back on and hear about how just your travels. I mean, that's across the country, so you're going to have fun checking out. Have you ever been to Philly before?
No, I've never been there, but I actually, this is really like sort of embarrassing because I'm 49. I have never, I don't think, as an adult, taken a trip totally by myself because I had kids really young.
Oh.
So I'm kind of a little nervous. Like it's kind of a big deal for me. So I think it'll go good though.
Well, enjoy yourself. Yeah.
If you need it, Erika's
We're not
available. It's
far.
a 5-hour drive. She'll go down there and spend the weekend with you.
Yeah,
Nicole
seriously,
will
you guys
be there. We should hook him up with Nicole.
Nicole
Nicole, Justine.
and Jay.
Who else
Jay's
is gonna
going to be there. Wait, Jay's going too.
Oh yeah,
That's
Jay told me
right.
she's going. That's right. She did tell me she was going.
So
we've been
if you
texting
go,
back. So,
if you go
I'll
meet
probably run with
Jay, you'll meet Nicole, and Nicole is my new run coach.
Oh, I'm very excited about this. I'm gonna get some dirt on you, man.
Do it.
Hey, after Napa in March, will you come back on, do something we call OTR Live? It's those YouTube lives with like one viewer, and do it with Angela. The two of you do it, and we hear about Napa Valley. It's like a quick 30-minute, like what's new in Shari's life and how was the Napa half.
Absolutely. And you guys keep in touch because I love you guys.
Yes.
We love you too.
Yeah. This was great.
Oh, it was great. Everybody, Shari Todd on the On the Runs podcast. That was so much fun.
Shari, you are such an incredible woman. Oh, every time I think of you now, I'm going to just be singing that Kesha song. Like, you are a motherfucking woman. Like, you are so strong.
Shut up, Steve. If I want to be a motherfucking woman, I can be a motherfucking woman. Oh, that was.
Oh, you are so strong. I'm obsessed. I just love you so much, Shari.
I spelled her handle wrong. If you look at the teaser where it says tomorrow on the pod, you slide it over. I spelled the handle wrong. I spelled her name wrong because I was so focused on the second part of her handle. I messed up the I and the R. And so she tells me that Steve said something about it, about the slides and how it was spelled wrong. And I go, shut up, Steve. Just like she goes, shut up, Steve. If I want my song to be, I'm a motherfucking woman, I'll be. Oh my God.
So
top
much
5.
fun.
I'm sorry. I love every one of you, but this is a top 5. Like, so much fun. I can't wait. Like we said, we'll do an OTR live with her in the spring after her and Angela do. I
Oh
think
my
they're doing
God, that's
Philly.
going to be a blast.
They're
Such
doing
a blast.
Philly next month. But what were they doing in the spring? What, half or something out there?
Is it LA?
No, I forget.
This is what happens when we record too far ahead. I need to re-listen now. I can't wait.
All right. So that was a ton of fun. Shari, thank you so much. I think we should stick with the breast cancer here because you and I really haven't been able to talk about it because we broke into the month and you were gone. So Nicole subbed in.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, we just did your recap.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like the first time we're getting to talk about it. And one thing we've mentioned in passing, I think I dropped on the podcast, but I didn't really elaborate, but we're going to make it some type of donation towards breast cancer month
I love it.
this month. You were going to donate, I think it was $100 for every mile you did complete at the Yeti. So you're going to donate $10,000.
You guys are going to make me go broke.
No, actually, I want to elaborate on what we're going to do because I have made a decision and I think I might have reached out like, hey, suggestions. Nicole and I mentioned a foundation but a couple people reached out to me and said, oh, please don't this one or do for that one or don't because of these reasons. And I decided I love to stay local and I'm going to stay local. And we have some friends who are now running in the Boston Marathon for, help me out here. I know it's breast cancer awareness, but what was it?
Dana-Farber.
Dana-Farber, thank you very much. And coming back for the second year, this year virtual, the 5K for Jaye.
I support that 100%.
Let's do it. We'll whatever we decide to donate, we'll donate there. I already gave Jaye $1 actually because
You
she
gave her
made some post.
$1?
Yeah, well, she made this post about she said, if I get people to donate $1 to my Venmo right now, I will hit the link. And it was a link to make her fundraising active. So I right away on Venmo, $1.
Perfect.
She's not the only one who got on. It's
Justine,
who Justine and Nicole were the brains of the 5K for Jaye. So I'm so excited. They're bringing the 5K for Jaye back. We'll have more details next week, but I think it's just run a 5K virtually and make a donation, or every 5K you run, I will ask Jaye and Justine for the details. Like what qualifies? Do you need to send some data, or you just on our system say, I ran the 5K and this is what I want to donate. So it's awesome. I think they're accepting any donation, and you get like a bib or an entry to win something. Whether
I think they're doing some raffles. Yeah, that's ringing a bell.
And I don't think it matters. I think every $10, I don't know. I'll get the details. Maybe it was every $10 gets you a ticket or something. And if you run, so.
Yep, something like that. Like every $10 increments gets you an extra ticket for the raffle, I want to say. But they can feel free to correct us, and we'll share all this info on our socials and make sure that more people know and can get out there.
That's right. I'll share. I'll put it in the show notes when I have it all, and we'll talk about it more next week. But I'm super excited. The 5K for Jaye is back. We're going to give locally to friends, to people we know, and knowing that the money's really going to matter where it's going and who it's going to, and help them with their Boston Marathon dream and their journey. I'm so excited to help those two out because it just makes me feel a lot better giving that money to something locally and people I know, that not only am I helping out with like the Dana-Farber, but I'm helping Jaye and I'm helping Justine
Absolutely.
in this dream of theirs. So,
and Dana-Farber was a huge part of Jaye's recovery journey. So, I mean, I'm happy to support them any way we can.
Super excited for them. One more note on Jaye.
Yeah.
So when Jaye's episode dropped, a couple people noticed, and you noticed too, there is a 16-second pause in my editing. Like just a legit pause. What did you tell me you thought happened?
For a minute, I was like, are my headphones working? And then it picked up again. I thought I got a notification that caused it to stop. So I really didn't think much of it. But then you mentioned it and I was like, oh yeah, okay. So what went on? What
Well,
happened?
I actually asked Nicole, like, hey, tell me what you think, because Erika's traveling. And I usually ask you because I don't listen after I listen to everything before in editing. So you kind of tell me if you heard something or whatever, and I fix it. So I asked Nicole to do it, and she mentioned this 16-second pause. I'm like, that's weird. What happened? So I went back, and right before the pause, we were talking about the Boston Bruins and the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Jaye goes, yeah, we've had your number for quite a while now. And I'm like, yeah, you probably did. You probably do. But not in 2011. And come to find out, when I was editing, I wanted to look it up. And the Boston Bruins have won 7 of the last 8 games against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I was like, what? We kick ass. We beat Tampa's butt 7 of the last 8. We've lost 1 game to them in the last 2.5 years since we came back from the bubble. So I messed up putting in a little update. I was going to be like, update. The Bruins have won 7 of the last 8 games against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Jaye was wrong. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing.
Yep.
And
it didn't work though. So what happened?
No,
it just
dropped. Just added a 16 seconds of silence.
Oh, weird. It was a cool idea in theory, but bummed it didn't work out.
The hockey gods were like, no, don't rub it in on Jaye's episode.
You're gonna jinx the Bruins now, man. Don't do it.
We're 2-0 to start. I miss Bergie. I really do. He retired.
I'm sorry.
I miss him. I miss him because I didn't get to say bye. It's like there was no farewell tour or anything. Like he just all of a sudden retired on July 25th, the day after his 38th birthday. Not that I'm a big fan or anything, and I know everything about the guy.
He's going to be like, who is this dude?
I'm 2 days older than him. That's why I remember his birthday so well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a senior in high school looking at the roster in 2003, and I was like, oh, who's this rookie? His birthday's 2 days after me. And then I go, same year. I'm in high school, and there's a guy playing on the Bruins. All right, my dream's over. He's not my favorite player. I'll live vicariously through him. What a man rocket. That guy's a man rocket too. Oh my God.
Okay.
No shame. Yeah. So sticking on the race theme,
Uh-huh.
more breaking news. Breaking news. I signed up
Yeah.
for a race.
Oh, your gamma phobia, you shut it down.
Yeah.
I'm very excited you actually pulled the trigger on this one because our good buddy Patrick is going to be in town on the 28th of October, and we're running, what is it called? I always mess up the name.
It's called Run the Res because it's the reservoir. It's Tower Hill Pond, one of my favorite places. I used to take my dog there all the time. I actually took some girls on walking dates there, snowshoeing. I've been there so many times. Sometimes just love to go run and see it's so beautiful. You wouldn't know such a beautiful place is right outside Manchester, New Hampshire. You wouldn't know it.
I
And
wouldn't
it's so
know it. I've
quiet.
never been before, so I'm very much looking forward to this race. It's a 5-miler. I think it starts at 9 a.m. So if anybody wants to come join, I think we've got, so it's me, you, Patrick. We've got Tara on board. Who else wants to join?
Tara created a team.
She did. Oh, so if you want to join our team, it is Team on the Runs, but you have to know the secret password. It's totally on brand for us. So if you're looking for the password, it's capital P, poop. Poop with a capital P.
Spell it out? Can you spell it out?
Capital P, OOP, poop.
Oh, capital P, poop. Hey, Tara came up with the password, so it's very on brand, like you said.
Yep. Speaking of that, I can't believe you posted that video of my cat.
In your cat's in Scooter's cornhole.
I saw it and I was like, ew, nobody wants to see that.
You
Hashtag
did not. You're a
hate
liar. You loved it.
No, I didn't finish the video. I saw it. I'm like, oh, this is too much. That was
come on.
Straight on the freaking thing.
I was going to do just your camera and like really have a good view, but it wasn't centered. So I had to do the three of us and go back to the original aspect ratio.
That would have just been a little too much, but I got a good laugh out of it. Thanks, I hate it.
What a fun week it has been. What a cool interview.
Yeah.
What a time.
So I know before we go, I know we're going to do a quick little recap of Ghost Train, but I just have to shout out a couple people on here because I want them to hear it, and they'll hear it eventually. But shout out to my new friends, Leslie and Emily, who basically kept me alive during that race. It was so much fun. And to Sonia and Sheila, who hit 100 miles at Ghost Train. I am so freaking proud of you two. I just can't even. So I just wanted to put that out there to make sure that you heard it because I totally appreciate you. You guys did awesome. So congratulations.
Sonia and I go back. Like we go
you still have to
back.
Well, was there really a story there? You were like kind of telling me, but like
there's a story and it's not for the pod.
All right, we'll save it for later.
It's for the Patreon. It's for the lovers of the pod on Patreon. That could be like a lovers of the pod part. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not a bad story, but I like told you that before and you're like, "Oh, did you?" And I'm like, "Not me."
You made it seem, I don't know.
Of course. I remember the night I met her. I remember the night. It was the night David Ortiz hit like the 10th inning winning home run against the California Angels to move on to the ALDS against the New York Yankees in 2004.
Dude, your memory is great.
When we then went and won the World Series after going down 0-3 to the Yankees. Yes, it was the game we clinched against the Angels. I met her that day. Steve Spain was friends with her, and we drove from Plymouth to her college to hang out with her. Let's just say Steve liked her, and I was just being a supportive wingman. And I left Colby Sawyer happy, and Steve probably left a little bummed out.
Okay. Way to leave it on a cliffhanger. Okay.
And I've run into her many times. I ran into her on my first ever marathon, Strava.
No way.
I've seen her at other events. She lives locally. She's so cool. She works in the hospital. I think the Elliott or CMC, one of them. So
I really wish that I knew she was like a long distance runner because I would have hit her up for some training runs like this summer because it's always so lonely when you got to do the long distances. So Sonia, if you're doing anything else, in the future. I mean, you got to take some rest days now, but hit me up. I'm totally willing to run.
I even went to an OAR concert with her.
Did you? That's fun.
Yeah, with the group and all. So let's get her on the pod next year in 2024, and maybe we'll see what she remembers of the night that we met.
I'm eager to hear from both sides. There we go.
I think before we do end, we need to do one more shout out to all our friends who ran in the Chicago Marathon.
Yes. There's so many. There's too many. I feel like we're gonna miss some. But let me start it off. We got Jen. We got KJ. We got Jesse. We got Rory. I'm already blanking. Help me out.
Rory's the rollet. We have Denise.
Yeah. Denise, yes.
And when you said Jen, you meant Jen Steele
Jen
or another
Steele.
Jen?
Nope, Jen Steele.
What a cool marathon that looks like. I think we said we'll throw our name in the lottery.
Yeah. Oh, lottery opens the day this drops. So that is tomorrow for us. Yeah, it opens. How long
do I have?
I don't know. They usually give you like a month.
Send the link.
I will send it. Oh, yes, I will send it.
Send the link.
But I swear I'm going to try to run it either way, whether I have to do some fundraising or not.
And also, a couple of you may have caught it when Brittany Charbonneau jumped on the pod last week. How cool is that? Not a big deal.
Bestie.
But that was hilarious. Like, that was hilarious when you're like, hey, so that's my best friend.
Oh, I
Brittany.
blew out the microphone. Yeah. No, when I was very surprised if you couldn't tell.
So we're talking about Chicago. Congrats to all you who ran the Chicago Marathon. Perfect timing mid-sip.
I was tracking a bunch of people, but I'm recording on my phone, so I can't pick up my phone to look at who I was tracking. But
you're gonna get that. Black Friday's coming up. Get that computer.
I should. But Chicago just had the world record for the men's marathon broken. That was like the coolest thing. Almost 2 hours, almost under. Like it was so close.
Mm-hmm. New York's coming up. Maybe you want to just day trip it to New York City. Just call and say, oh, wait.
No, that's hamster wheel. I would otherwise. That would be a lot of fun.
Okay, we got to talk about
We also have some hamster wheel stuff. Yeah, exactly.
We got to figure that out. All right. Well, it was so much fun. And all my notes I have, we covered about everything except one thing.
What are we missing?
Tyler decided to jump off a chair, and it did not end well.
Oh, no.
I got him jumping off the chair in the photo, which I think is awesome now, days later.
Oh, no.
I took the boys to Cowabunga's at 6 o'clock to wear them out, right?
Okay.
And I like how it was raining. It was downpouring. So I'm like, I got to get out of the house because the house is covered in glitter, which is a whole nother story and going to lead to me moving out and being single one day. Just watch. It's going to come down to glitter, in court. Reason for divorce, glitter.
Oh.
The guy asked me today if I went to the strip club last night because I have glitter all over my face. I go, no, I just have glitter all over my house.
I have a daughter.
I have children who like arts and crafts, and a wife who loves it too. So I took them to Cowabunga's, and when we're leaving, it's 7 o'clock, and there's these two high wooden chairs. They're high, even they're high for an adult. So I put Tommy and Tyler in one, said sit down, and I took a couple pictures, and there's Cowabunga's in the background. And as I'm taking one, and then I turn the phone to go this way, I take other, Tyler decides to jump off the chair.
Oh no.
So I got a photo of him
But is he okay?
He landed right on his chin, and he cut his chin open, and I'm oh, that's stitches. So,
oh no.
So for 10, 20 minutes, I tried to find a quick babysitter because I want to bring Tommy home and put Tommy to bed because it's bedtime in 20 minutes. And I'm just I'm going to take him to the hospital, and I don't want to deal with Tommy at the hospital in the ER.
Yeah.
Then I quickly look up urgent care, which I love urgent care. Urgent care is awesome. I freaking love it. I've had to go a couple times. They do anything from a checkup when your kid needs to do a checkup for sports to this and even more.
Okay.
They closed at 8 o'clock. I got there at 7:57, and they couldn't have been any nicer to me. They were nope,
they took you and everything. Oh,
they're absolutely. That's why we're here. We schedule our technicians late. Come on in. Hey, Tommy and Tyler were so excited and had so much fun. Tyler, by the way, even with this big gash on his chin and blood everywhere, was totally excited and happy. This is so cool. And the entire staff loved the boys. We got him all cleaned up. He didn't need stitches. He did need glue. They said, it's good enough right now where he only needs glue. But he had, I'll send you the picture.
Did Ashley like kill you? Like, what did you do to my boys?
Well, the funny thing is she's at work and I texted her updates, but she never responded to any one of them because she wasn't looking at her phone.
Yeah.
So when she looks at her phone when they're closing, the boss goes to everyone, and this is a perfect example why we don't use our phones at work. Because if you saw this, you would have freaked out and not been able to pay attention and work.
Yep.
So by the time she sees everything, like the boys are sleeping, we're all good, and he's healed up and cleaned up, and it's good. So yeah, you know what? There is a way where I can do I can share posts and blur it out.
Oh.
And it'll be like sensitive. Maybe I'll do that. Or maybe I just, you know what? No, I'm not going to share the bloody photo of his chin. I'm going to share the photo of him jumping off the chair that I caught in mid jump.
Oh, poor kid.
I'll share that one. Yeah, he landed on a deck. So it was like that fake decking, the kind of wood that is fake and lasts forever. So
yeah. Well, he's learning to be more resilient, and yeah, he'll be a brave boy.
They're awesome. They're my boys. They're so cool. What a fun. I didn't think we'd get to talk about a lot, but we got a lot in here in a quick time.
You can tell when we don't talk to each other for a while because these things just like drag out. But I miss talking to you. It's been a while, so.
Yeah. Let's go do our quick 15-minute recap of Ghost Train.
Yep.
And I will put that on Patreon by Wednesday morning, if not earlier. And because our interview next week is a little on the shorter end, I will throw it into next week's episode.
Perfect. Excellent.
All right. Everyone, don't forget, follow us on Instagram. Go to YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm dropping more and more in there. And you know what? I will drop the Ghost Train in YouTube later this week before it drops on next Tuesday's episode. So go subscribe to that YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. Like, share, comment. The biggest thing you guys can do for us is just share the podcast with your friends and people who you think will enjoy it. If you know how to leave a rating, leave us a 5-star rating. Give us a review if you can on Apple. I would love everything you guys are doing and just appreciate if you do that for us. So, and then we got our Patreon. So check us out on our Patreon if you want, where you can get access to some of these things. 2024 is going to be really good. I'm going to throw more on there. We're going to make sure that our Patreons get the benefit of the $4 $9 of being a friend of the pod and a lover of the pod. I love you all so much. I appreciate you. And Erika, you're the freaking best as well. So
thank you.
Thank you. 78 episodes. Wow. 78. Take us home.
I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and don't forget to stretch.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, that was a great intro.
You didn't like it at first.
I just wanted to rearrange one thing I said, and I rephrased it.
Perfect.
That was a great intro. All right. I talked about my butthole. Not feeling well.
I talked about my
I gotta
butthole.
mention that. Tyler, run the res. The response error. Okay. All right, cool. Let's do it.
Oh, another thing, I don't know if the other girls talked about this. You lose your nose hair. Now, nose hair is important for things such as catching snot. So like I would go hiking and like snot would just fall out of my nose, like, or a booger. And I'm like, what on earth? So nose hair, very important, underrated, not appreciated. Just saying.